Hello everybody, Jet here, and welcome back to my bloody Handz campaign as the Savage Orcs, as the Great Green Prophet. So we've just taken it back here from the Badlands, and we're about to have to start pushing back north quite quickly because, well, we want to get into war with these guys quickly, but also we are currently being pressured. Well, we're going to be getting a rebellion, which we're going to have to put down via... Oh, I was expecting it to be the Teeth Snatchers popping up, but it's not the Teeth Snatchers. It is someone, I don't know who's probably going to attack somewhere straight away because I'm quite weak up there. So we're going to have to turn around and smash into them at full speed. Now we do obviously have different issues here because we've got the entirety of Araby and the Southlands down there, the jungles of the Southlands down there, which we're going to have to deal with. And at some point we're probably going to end up fighting lizard men here, which could be interesting. We're also probably going to come into conflict with the vampires fairly early on. So what I want to do with them is I want to... Well, vampires I'm not so bothered about, but they don't break, so it could make them an interesting group to fight as orcs, but it's the... Ooh. War fever. Extra leadership for all my forces. Let's take that one. So, who is this faction? Greenskin rebels. Who are going to die. Painfully, preferably. We are double timing back up. Having them for a couple of turns in my territory is not going to be the end of the world. Let's just keep pushing up here. And let's end turn. Let's smash those greenskin rebels. It's quite annoying because actually I'd have probably done better by not confederating, because when I confederated I did make all the other orcs around me not like me as much, because you do get a negative when you confederate as most factions. So I mean, everybody is slightly different, so I might not have got that negative, but we'll have to see. Now the border princes are actually struggling. They seem to be quite weak there, but I did go for a peace with them simply so I could consolidate where I currently am, because I want to consolidate where I am. I will be pushing over and munching on them at some point soon, but I want to consolidate my sort of home region first. But pushing across the sea and taking them out will give me a lot better a defence, because at the moment they can just wander over if they want.
Wurrzag, the Great Green.
Okay, let's hit these guys before they build up too much. Okay, and let's have some fun squishing them. So this is a more normal orc faction, so they've got some orc big uns and orc boys. So these guys will be a lot more defensive. These guys are all about the charge. And they do, I think they have a bit more weapon damage. So they're a bit different. I'm not sure I'm not sure if I prefer the savage orcs to the normal orcs, because the normal orcs are definitely a bit tougher than the savage orcs. We'll have to have a bit of a compare. I mean, I don't have to use savage orcs long run. However, they're what I had early game. In early game, they are certainly good because they're very good shock troops. Long run, I will definitely have a core of black orcs in all of my armies, because black orcs are black orcs. They are solid troops. Like all orcs though, they don't have the best as good leadership as some. Well, that's a nice amount of magic. So let's start deployment. We are going to do a very similar tactics to last time. I.e., we are going to charge. We're going to put a giant in the middle, and we are going to charge and envelop them and have some fun doing so. These guys can all move around here. That's got quite a good range, actually, that ability. And these guys are brilliant. These are doom divers. They are so fun. This unit shoots goblins at you with wings, and they actually aim. They're in a bit of an annoying position actually, because I can't just charge through this. So let's set up on that side. However, it does mean we've got somewhere nice to protect our archers from. You guys can all move over here, and we're going to get engaged very shortly. You see, these guys, they are so accurate, they do a lot of damage. And let's start the charge. These guys can all charge up here. He can get involved here. This is another mass charge going on here. And these guys can move in over here. These guys are shooting happily. A giant is having fun sending people flying. Okay, this is going nicely. We are smashing them. Let's get you involved. Let's send a spell against him. Let's up my spells. Let's pop another explosion over here as soon as we fired this spell. Oh, it missed. You can go and get involved, and you can actually cast my direct damage on him. You guys can start flying around the back. You guys can just get involved in melee now. We're doing nicely. We've cracked this army nicely here. The last little sort of bits holding on, but not for long. It's the thing about orcs, they break and they come back, and they break and they come back. So even though these guys are breaking, they will turn and come back. I'm suffering a bit. I need to get them out and get some of my boar boys in there. So I expect to have lots of people running in bigger battles, but I expect them to come back in fairly regularly. Oh, so that's quite a nice battle there. We did quite nicely there. Probably did a bit better than I'd have done from the auto-resolve. They had a lot of night goblin archers here who are, I think they're quite good archers. We might, as I said, we'll look into our sort of ranged setup earlier, though for some of the guides I've been looking at, they don't tend to do much in the way of ranged armies with the orcs. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, at some point I also want to try the goblin faction where I just have goblins. That could be interesting, but it might also be it is a very hard campaign, so we'll do that once I've got a bit more practice. That said, I do really enjoy the other dwarf faction. I do know there is somebody on one of the groups I'm at who's making a mod where the I can't remember the name, the dwarf faction which want to take Carrick 8 Peaks will start as a horde, and once they've got that going I'll have a look, see how well it works, and I might give that a go. So that's an interesting idea of you being a horde, and the first place, the only thing you can do is you can't capture anywhere until you capture Carrick 8 Peaks as your capital. Okay, so we've dealt with that rebellion, so we'll just get our numbers back up with our bit of an odd-shaped army here, because I've got far too many of one unit here. And then we'll push north, we'll secure those bits of territory, and we'll obviously get our public order in order here as well. I'll work out how I'm going to do that, and then we'll start, we'll work out exactly where we're going next. Okay, if my loading screen ever finishes, this is. Let's have a look. Can I actually see what some of these units do? Oh, I've got a bit of a freeze here, guys, so I'm just waiting. There we go. So, what do we want? I don't want to lose fightiness. I don't necessarily need this. Let's eat my captives. Nom nom nom. And we can get some Dirkit Squid, Night Goblin Squig Hoppers as a regiment of renown. Right, what can I get lord-wise if I look at recruiting lords? So there's no specific extra legendary lords I can get. No rare legendary lords or anything. Obviously we're going to push up against here next. And we have leveled up again. So what are we going to get? Do we want to get the Foot of Gork? Or Edbutt? Ooh. Disrupts formation. Short, wide, tear-shaped attack. Strong against single unit. Strong against multiple units. We're going to get the Foot of Gork. We probably also want to push down the red tree at some point as well. So, right. Oh, and my Night Goblin and Shaman is back. Gork will fix it. Which is debuff to other people. Itchy Nuisance. Vindictive Stare. Oh, that's good. So that reduces the power rate, recharge rate of everybody else. We're actually going to drop a unit here to get him back into our army. Let's take what should be ours. So I want to get him being leveled up, even though I probably won't keep him in this army long run. Getting him leveled up is always useful. And let's end turn. Now we have the greenskins on my border. I know they're a little annoyed with me at the moment, so I want to be careful of them. This is the problem with the orcs. They do tend to like infighting. That's probably why the dwarfs tend to win, because the dwarfs tend to like confederating, and the orcs tend to like infighting. Oh, the top knots have declared war on Clan Moors. I don't like that vampire army being there. Though there's not really a huge amount I can do about it just at the moment, so we'll see what happens. Wurrzag, the Great Green Prophet. This is annoying. All the other people get one of those, which actually gives you a. All the new factions get one, which gives you experience, and I'm a little annoyed we're not getting the benefit of that. Right, let's start upping the obedience of all of my guys a bit here. You can move into here. We've sorted our public order for a little bit, and that'll help for at least one turn. Alrighty. Where do we want to go? I can buff Brainbuster, which will give it greater armor and extending my cast range. I can also start pushing up this red tree, which buffs up all of my guys as well. Though I'm potentially going to be moving away from Savage Orcs later on, we'll see. Let's grab Edbutt. So I can start, so I've got lots of offensive spells to use when I need to. So next turn I'm going to have a look at just trying to make peace a little bit more secure with the guys around me. Before I start pushing too far, but I do want to secure. If I secure the rest of this unit, this place, I can put an edict down, or whatever they call them in Total War Warhammer. I still always call them edicts, which will get me a lot, which will help me in. Well, it will just help me staying a bit stronger. I've got a feeling they're going to go to war with me, but they are quite weak. I think they are suffering. So, we'll see. Obviously, we still have quite a few various factions in the game. That will get less and less as time goes on. Okay, so I think we're in a good enough position now to push. We'll push down here because we're staying in our territory then. And we can move on the tower next turn. Let's push down the obedience tree. Here could do with something as well, though we're getting negatives from the extorted income. Right, the greenskins are starting to like me. How about the top knots?
What are you good swans?
They have accepted my offer, which is starting to make them more friendly with me. Okay, let's end turn again. Okay, so we're just pushing through all of the other factions here. And let's see. Barakvar. So I think they're at war with the Scabby Eyes at the moment, so I do want to pay attention to what's going on there, though I'm going to start smashing. I said we're going to take a stone mine tower, then we'll probably push on to Doc Karaz. But whether I want Doc Karaz, I might just get a peace treaty, because then I can use Doc Karaz as a... effectively I can use Doc Karaz as a bastion to defend myself, and then I might even look at invading, look at starting hitting the border princes in retaliation for their small invasion of me. But I do want to keep an eye on Grinty Mingol. Okay, so capture and occupy a settlement belonging to one of these factions. I'm not that fussed by that at the moment. Let's hit Stone Mine Tower. And now we have this entire territory, so extra growth and extra obedience. There's only a little bit of obedience. Why do I have a feeling the the orcs are always going to have a little bit of the problem with obedience? Okay. I'm going to start pushing down here just to buff him up, make him a little tougher. No, let's go for the spells first. So I need 8 skills to unlock that. I'm going to start... See, I could push down here, which would buff up my Savage Orc units. Though later on, I don't know how many Savage Orc units I'll be using. Artillery ones are always good. This one does also make it cheaper to use. Quite a lot cheaper. It also increases the explosion damage. We can do the same with this, which just extends the range. And Edbutt. Let's do that to start with. We're going to start buffing up all of my damaging spells to start with. No, let's do the Gaze of Maw, because that's good to use against heroes.
What? This is my tribe, so talk, but remember who the real boss is.
Okay, we're gonna make peace with the Scabby Eyes for the time being. And I'm gonna prepare an invasion across the water there. Let's have a look at all of these orc factions. So the orc factions do all like me at the moment.
Go on then, spit it out. Go on then.
Greetings. How can we fleet? I mean, help in it though.
Okay, so we've got non-aggression pacts with all of them, though they are orcs, so I know not to necessarily trust them. Okay, we're going to up here, and then we'll start a pop a thing to increase my obedience here. Okay. And let's buff you up. Gork'll fix it. I want that one. It's a nice debuff to cast on the enemy, so it lowers their charge bonus, lowers their vigour, and lowers their speed. Actually, no, let's take Itchy Nuisance. That's probably a better one. Because it lowers their attack, all of their attack stuff. Gork'll fix it's probably better to use against other orc factions who rely heavily on that initial charge attack, because that does a big thing. That initial charge attack is probably one of the biggest sort of damaging hits we can get early on. So we're going to start. We're going to prepare for the invasion of the Borderlands next. Barak Var has declared war on the Bloody Spears, so that's another little orc faction right up in the north. So we don't necessarily need to worry about that just at the moment. I want to hit these guys because these guys can just sail across into my coast, and it's going to be easier to defend their territory than it is the entirety of my coast. Though I could potentially... No, nobody's going to confederate with me at the moment.
You move. Alright, you got mine.
Confederating is both good and bad, because when you confederate you do get negatives. Now, there is something I've not done yet, which I do want to do soon. And I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pop a lord out here, and he is going to be my sea lord. His job... I'm going to take one bit extra movement now, is to go around outside of the map and start picking up islands and all of these islands and things. Okay. So we actually now have plus 13, 8 from buildings, 5 from military crackdown. So we can actually get rid of one of these. End turn. We're going to keep on with all this growth. We've got a nice amount of growth there, which is helpful. I want to get my tinkerers soon so I can start getting out technologies, because at the moment I don't have any. I'm not gaining any tech, which is a bad thing. I would like to get at least a second army on the go relatively soon. Though we'll get that going when we get that going. I'm in no rush to do it. Obviously the border princes are building back up, and I don't trust them not to go to war with me because they don't like me, but at the same time they probably don't trust me not to go to war with them because I'm orcs, and you know that orcs are not the most trustworthy. So we will get ready to push over there as soon as we can, but I want at least a couple of armies to do that. Ooh, that's good. Let's start pushing up our income a bit more.
The nation calls.
I am very tempted to go straight across.
Green. Now then, boys. What you got?
Now, why can't I trade with all of these guys? I'm definitely up against them, and yet I can't trade. This faction does not trade. Oh, I can't trade yet. Do I need to unlock a technology in order to trade? Or can I just not trade? I just think I cannot trade. Okay, that's interesting to know.
Great, Prophet.
I'm very tempted to go. What's the garrison here like? It's not a big garrison. And they do have another city up here.
Your man gods and dubious masters have no place here.
So we no longer have the non-aggression pact, in which case, sod it. Here goes nothing. Let's take the risk. No. Let's not go that way though.
Fire spills. Heading out. What's wrong with you? Killing time. Next
And end turn. I probably should have waited to declare war until next turn. So we've got another little settlement up here in Karak Agadzar. But no, if we capture here, hopefully we'll stop them sailing across our sea at least, and we'll be able to take a few territories. Now, I do get a negative from here, so I get -1 obedience, plus 30% construction costs, lower replenishments, and you know, it makes things take longer to build, but that's only a minor negative there. Obviously mountains are better for me, but I don't want to leave the border princes over there on their own. This guy's going to start looking for picking up things like this, and we're going to start building another little army here just to defend in case we do get attacked. They'll probably actually start building it up here because I've obviously got the recruitment buildings up here. Okay, so we do have a mission now. So they want me to assassinate Leopold von Mackemer, but I'm not so worried about that. Right, so again, lots and lots of archers from them. So we're going to fight this, and we are going to crush the Humies. So we're gonna crush those squishy Humies and take this town for our own. The other thing you can do quite well with the orcs is you can set yourselves up as a raiding force as well. So you can raid their territory for extra cash too. So we're pushing over into the borderlands here, and we're going to take this human settlement for our own. Okay, so this is going to be a fairly similar tactic, guys, because we are all about the charge. If I give them time to hold a line, they will hold a line. So I just need to push into them as hard as I can and break them and rout them off the field, which is what I'm good at. Now we do have some extra spells this time, so to that thing we are going to start high on this map. Again, we're going to put our giant in the middle. Our two lords at either side, and our... Ooh, I've actually lost a unit here somehow. Okay, right. And that's actually perfect, because they're going to be downhill to me, which is beneficial. So let's double time it while we position. This means I've got a downhill charge, which is going to give me various buffs as we charge. And get us into here nicely. I kind of wish, you know, there really is a proper bottom here. I don't know why they've decided to hold there, because that's a bit of a daft place. And this is one thing, I'm just going to slow it down. You can look at these maps. These places are absolutely gorgeous now. So you've got these hills in the background. You can even see a little fort up there. And you can see the sea inside. And just the maps in Warhammer 2 are fantastically pretty and gorgeous. Okay, let's double time it. Let's have my giant just slowly ponder over to them. Now again, the key thing we want to do here is we want to get behind and get into all of these archers early on. Right, you guys can actually break off over here a little bit. And soon it's going to be charge time. And now let's just get everybody charging. Get them round the backs. Let's use Edbutt. So cast a nice good hex out. And buff up my guys. Let's get my archers a bit further forwards. And let's lose Brain Buster back here. We'll hit some of our own there, that's not going to be bad. These guys can start slamming into the sides. These guys can all charge down here. Right, we're engaged here nicely. Let's start chasing some of them. Actually, we could use somebody else against their captain. But no, we're going to get behind and start chasing off their archers first. And my archers can start hitting their archers. You can hammer into the back there. You can actually get involved now. And let's hit their lord with our Gaze of Mork. And he can also take this negative. So he's getting hit quite heavily now. And we've cracked them. They are just breaking everywhere now. So we're just chasing them off the field now, pretty much. My giant can go and start hitting their lord, as can my lord. Let's hit him with another spell. We didn't actually get to use the Foot of Gork at all. Oh, it only works against flying units. Oh. Oh no, cannot target flying. I'm just going to cast it because I want to see what it looks like. Let's see if we can catch him on his way out. So this is why I like the orcs. While I'm not the best orc player, they are just fun to play because you get stuff like that. And let's just keep chasing them down. Let's double time this now. We're running around poking him, and we're going to crack the rest of these guys shortly. So my lord is actually in there, but that's not too bad. Basically right now it's just chasing them off, and it's over. So nice clean victory there for us, guys. And that has got ourselves a foothold in the border kingdoms, with the border princes' territories, and that's going to start. We're going to start expanding there, and if we expand that way, we might even come into conflict with the empire relatively soon. Though there's a nice path so I can defend. Obviously, we've got some other stunted dwarf things up in the hill, and then we've got some elf things on the other side to go and deal with as well. But we'll deal with those when we get to them. Okay, so that was a nice battle, guys. We'll just sort out what we're doing with this settlement, and then we will be ending this one here. But I hope you are enjoying this campaign. I'm actually doing much better than I did the last time I did these guys. So, mission aborted because we killed him by killing him. Oh, so we've got Da Warlords boys, and we got Da Rusty Arrows and Death Creepers. So we've got various regiments of renown. So we'll probably look at putting a few of those into my army as well. And obviously we have leveled up again. I'm going to start buffing him up directly. I'm going to make him do magical damage. I'm going to start pushing through here as well, because I like having a strong lord, even though he'll never be as strong as some of the others. Right, and we can up here now. You are just going double time, and you are sailing down to this island. And you now live at sea. I'm going to save up and grab that in this territory, and we are going to pop another lord. So extra money and favourable winds. Is that a skull reef? That's a skull reef. We're going straight for that because that gets us 10k gold. Let's buff up some of these guys, and we'll get that other lord going next turn. Okay guys, I'm not going to end turn, we are going to end it here, so thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you are enjoying my new campaign. I certainly am so far as the Savage Orcs, as not the Savage Orcs, as Da Bloody Handz, with Wurrzag, Da Great Green Prophet leading it. Any advice, guys, please feel free to pop it in the comments. As I say, I do hope you're enjoying this, but I'm not the best Orc player, so feel free to throw advice at my way. I will listen to what you've got to say. Thank you again, guys.